Hi there, I'm Carly Roland, founder of Serae. Over 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with endometriosis, and what followed were years of full body pain, infertility journeys, multiple surgeries, and just searching for answers. And along the way, I realized just how many women were carrying stories like mine, navigating complex health challenges, trying to piece together their wellness, and often feeling dismissed or alone while doing so. Serae was born from that experience, a simple daily formula featuring clinically researched ingredients selected to support immune health, hormonal wellness, and overall well-being. Our daily support formula is proudly made in the USA in a CGMP certified facility because quality and transparency matter to us. To learn more, visit SeraeHealth.com, follow us on Instagram at SeraeHealth, and become a part of what we're building.
Hey babes, welcome to a new episode of the Girls Room After Dark. I'm Jamie Silva.
And I'm Callie Greenberg. And I don't know about you guys, but I believe heavily that the universe brings people into our lives for a reason. And I can genuinely say that the two women we have on our episode today are not just guests, they have become our friends. And they share the same passion and mission, which is to help advocate for women's health and make this world a better place. So today I have Carly Roland, who's an award-winning actress, writer, director, and founder of Serae, which is a women's wellness company inspired by her own journey with endometriosis. As an actress, Carly has appeared in projects for Netflix, AMC, NBC, and other major networks, with credits including one of my favorites, Dark Winds, another one, Pulse, another one, Law and Order SUV. God, I love this. After years of navigating her chronic pain, infertility, and multiple surgeries, Carly became passionate about helping other women feel less alone in their health journey. That experience led her to create Serae, a company rooted in science, transparency, and community. Today, Carly balances her work in film and television with advocating for women's health, united by a common mission, helping people feel seen through the power of story and shared experience. We also have Rica Wyman, who is a seasoned sales leader with over 20 years of experience in an industry that I know very well, which is the medical technology industry. She drives innovation and impact across the healthcare landscape. And as an Endo warrior, she has undergone 2 excision surgeries, and she's an IVF mom of 2 miracle babies. She brings personal purpose to her professional mission. Her journey has fueled a deep passion for women's health, wellness, and advocacy. Rika is dedicated to empowering women through education, awareness, and access. She believes that when stories and science come together, women can finally feel seen, supported, and empowered in their health journeys. You guys, welcome to the show.
Yes, so excited. Finally, we got a date nailed down and a time, and we got it together.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
4 different schedules, 3 different time zones.
Yeah.
Carly, just had a baby recently. Rika, you were just in Italy.
Yes.
Jamie has been dealing with the kids in summer camp and all of that. And then I don't know what I've been doing.
It's been crazy, but we did it.
Yeah, finally. So
You've been keeping us
excited.
all on track.
Yes.
Yes. So we normally have everyone share their stories. And since you guys both have endo, we would like to hear a little bit about your endo journey. So Rika, if you want to start, and then we'll give Carly the floor after, that would be great. Hear it.
It's great. Well, first of all, thanks again for having us. It's been so wonderful to connect with you guys and just share our experiences. And we all have, unfortunately, this awful disease in common, but I am grateful that it has brought us together. My journey with endometriosis, and I'm sure you guys can all relate, I had never heard about endometriosis until I was diagnosed with endometriosis. I had just gotten married and I was on track to wanting a baby right away. I was like, I really want to do this. And I'm a very type A person. So I was like, well, what can I control? I'm going to get my fertility checked out and I'm going to be awesome at this and I'm going to get pregnant so fast. And I went to go see an OB and I went on the second day of my period, which is what you're supposed to do. And you get an ultrasound. And I was expecting her to tell me, you're good to go. You can go ahead and and start trying. And so while she's doing this ultrasound, she's like, oh, you have 2 very large endometriomas. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? I went by myself to this appointment. This is just a checkup. And she's like, yeah, that goes hand in hand with stage 4 endometriosis.
So
And
she
I was
knew
like,
right away that they were endometriomas. She didn't say cysts.
well, the reason she thought they were endometriomas is because they present as chocolate cysts.
Right.
So they're
Okay.
blood filled, and a normal cyst doesn't look like that on the ultrasound. That's what I said. I was like, I thought your cysts are normal in your cycle. And she was explaining this to me. And I was like, what is a chocolate cyst? Like, what is like endometriosis? Had no idea. And she casually was just, you're just going to have to do IVF. You'll be fine. This is a pretty inflammatory disease. So I'm hearing words like disease, IVF, harder to have children. And I literally thought I was getting a checkup. And I'm newly married, tears down my face, sobbing, inconsolable. Then you start Googling. And back then, the information online is not as good as it is today. And so it was pretty doom and gloom. And I was like to my new husband, sorry, like, this is what you got. So it was a lot. Through that process, slowly came to grips with the fact that I have this disease. We started trying, and after a few months, actually got pregnant naturally, and then lost that baby in the first trimester, but it was for normal chromosomal issues. We had everything tested, and then through that found a better OB that was more sensitive in how they talked to me about the disease, and went on a journey that involved IVF and surgery and all the things. I was lucky to meet an incredible team. My IVF doctor I still talk to weekly. I call her my angel on earth because she really put me in touch with the right team, the right surgeon, all the things that needed to happen to make it able for me to have children. And we did IVF and then an excision surgery before we even implanted. It was scheduled to be a 2-hour surgery. It was a 4-hour surgery. 4 hours. My husband, we didn't even have my parents come. My husband's there. No one's talking to him about it. He's like, what? This was supposed to be quick. So it was everywhere. I had stage 4 endometriosis. Thankfully, they were able to get most of it. And then after that, the recovery is tough from those surgeries. We implanted and it worked. So that's my daughter, Waverly. And then after that, my doctors were like, well, you're going to have to manage this disease, but you have to be on birth control and this and that. Then it was COVID and I didn't want to try for another baby again. So I got off birth control. It doesn't make me feel good. And I just enjoyed my daughter. And I was like, if this is all I can have, I'm feeling very grateful. And then we started the process to have another and put in a healthy embryo. Didn't work. Put in another healthy embryo and it was a miscarriage. And I went back, I talked to my IVF doctor. I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I think the endo is back. And I know you only had the surgery 2.5 years ago, but it feels aggressive. So I went back to the surgeon and he's like, it's definitely back. Let's do another surgery. Do you mind if I take your tubes this time? Because if I take your tubes, it can help prevent the endo becoming cancer, which is a thing, as we all know. And that was news to me. The hits kept coming. I was like, what is this? Is this going to be forever? And it's one of those things when you get diagnosed, it really becomes a part of your everyday and how you live, which is just so sad. But I had to have another surgery. They took my tubes, which was also hard, just like as a woman, just to be like, yeah, this is happening. And then implanted and actually able to have my son. So it's been a journey and I'm still dealing with it. I have flare-ups, as I'm sure you all can relate to. But that's why I'm so excited about Serae and the awareness and meeting people like you guys and community that has come out of this. Because now that I'm able to talk about this, I really wasn't able to for a long time. I'm so fortunate to meet women like you guys and Carly for starting Serae because there's help and my daughter won't have to go through this. And that is why I'm here today and so excited to be meeting with you all and helping with Serae. So sorry for my long story.
This is the real life of what it's like to have endo. It's not just, oh, they found it. I had surgery.
Well, and that's the thing. It doesn't go
chronic.
away.
No.
You live with it. It's a chronic inflammatory illness. And there are ways now to help manage that.
Yeah. That's frustrating for me too. People that I talk to, they're like, oh, you had the surgery, you're good. why are you tired? Or why are you still going to pelvic PT? Because one, there's a huge reoccurrence rate, even if there's a microscopic cell left behind. Two, it's whole body. It's not just my reproductive pelvic area. So I also feel like while we're hearing endo more out in the community, people are still very unaware of how much it really affects the day to day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
isn't
All
that
the
the truth? Unfortunately. Yeah. Thank you, Rika, for sharing your story. I feel like Rika and I have talked about our journeys quite a bit, and Rika is definitely one of the few women that I've been able to really dive deep into my journey with, because same thing, I was diagnosed almost 11 years ago, which feels like another lifetime. I was in my 30s at that point, and like Rika, never heard of endometriosis, had no idea what it was. I only discovered it because I had emergency surgery for ovarian torsion from a large, simple cyst that I was going to have removed the following week. And that whole emergency surgery experience was so terrifying. And in the surgical report in my post op, they told me they found a little bit of endometriosis and they removed it because they said while we were in there, we just looked all over your abdominal cavity and your pelvic cavity. And again, at the time, I kind of brushed it off because I had never heard of the word. And the doctors were very nonchalant when they told me about it. And they were able to save my left ovary. So I focused on that, like, oh, thank God, you know? And I went on and I lived my life completely ignorant to the fact that endometriosis would continue to impact my life. And 5 years later, I was diagnosed with stage 4 endo. I had horrific pelvic pain. I would black out during my periods. And this was during the pandemic. So I had just associated it with pandemic anxiety. I was having stomach issues. I was vomiting. I had diarrhea. And I just thought, this is really a tough time, what we're all going through. But something in me intrinsically at one point was like, okay, maybe this isn't normal, this level of pain. And I have a very high pain tolerance. I'm a former ballet dancer. So like just kept brushing it off every month. And finally my husband was like, I think you need to go to the OB. And I don't know if you guys remember at that time, just seeing a doctor was impossible. But I called and I was like, I need to come in tomorrow. And sure enough, ultrasound imaging showed I had a grapefruit sized endometrioma on my right ovary. And my OB was like, we will be seeing you in the OR next week, because I had that risk of ovarian torsion already. So I did not have in either of my surgeries the opportunity to do excision. I did not have the opportunity to see a specialist. And so I had that removed and again went on with my life. Although after that second surgery, I was like, okay, what is this? What is going on here? And in my post-op appointment, I remember asking the surgeon, so am I supposed to just have surgery the rest of my life, like every few years? Oh, and I was basically given the option of birth control or medical menopause. And I was like, neither for me. Same thing. I had tried birth control, didn't do well on it, had horrible anxiety. And medical menopause seemed like a very serious decision, but it was put in front of me as very casual. Oh, yeah, just, go into medical menopause. So again, I kind of went on with my life, but this time I started being like, let me educate myself on endometriosis because I wasn't getting answers from my doctors that felt very clear. They couldn't really give me the information I was seeking. Within 2 years after I got married and started trying for a baby, I was diagnosed with infertility due to endometriosis, something called low ovarian reserve or diminished ovarian reserve, which many women with endo who have infertility have DOR. I didn't know that you could get DOR from your surgeries. That was not explained to me. And my amazing doctor, Dr. Chung, she explained to me that they probably removed parts of my ovary during that second surgery because my endometrioma was so huge. So like Rika, it's kind of been this evolving journey of navigating this disease and realizing it is a full body disease. It's not just reproductive, and also dealing with issues with my hips. I have stomach problems. I have fatigue. I have seen, I don't know how many specialists. to try to connect all the dots. And I'm in Los Angeles, and knock on wood, we have some pretty phenomenal specialists, but even so, I struggle to get answers. It's just kind of that carousel of ongoing navigation of endometriosis. So here we are today. And one of the main reasons why I wanted to create Serae.
which I'm really excited to get into later on the episode.
Carly, what you were saying about how like you've tried to connect the dots,
Yeah.
I have as well. And I feel like, I don't know why, like a lot of female physicians, like it's so easy for them to blame what is going on with us on like, oh, you're fatigued, you have a child at home. It's okay. It'll get better once they get older. Yeah, no, it just continued to get worse. As a child, I always had stomach issues, and people would be like, she's just a nervous child. Personally felt female GYNs were worse in my
Me too.
experience. Like they were just very, I have a period too. Like you're fine. Like just take some Tylenol, ibuprofen, move on. And I don't understand like how it's so easy for someone to dismiss the
Yeah.
fatigue that we're talking about. Is you feel like cement was poured in your bones and you're just dragging your body down
Yeah.
the hall every morning.
Yeah.
Which
I mean, I think for me, especially now, if I go back to when I was diagnosed and seeing this 11-year journey and navigating all these specialists, I think because we're finally catching up to the fact that it is a full body chronic systemic disease, it is not just a reproductive disease. Some doctors know that, believe that, and understand that. And I think others are still stuck in the old mindset of it is just a reproductive disease. And like you know, with my stomach issues, I literally had a GI specialist tell me it's impossible for it to be your endo, despite all my tests not coming up with any other solution. And I was like, I think it is, because I know about 85% of us have GI, IBS like issues. That's what the data shows. So the fact that my symptoms didn't really show like other women with endo related stomach issues, he just dismissed me. Like I've learned in the journey to stick with my gut and my instinct when it comes to my own body, and to say, I do think this is endo related. And I need to find the doctors and the practitioners who are going to explore that and help me find support instead of just dismiss me. Not because I'm crazy. It's not because I'm anxious. It's not because I'm making this up. You know, I think that's the easy thing to go to, the lowest hanging fruit.
Mhm.
It's just
Oh,
the
yeah.
lowest hanging fruit.
And people saying that there's no way your stomach issues could be endo. There's a Dr. Jocelyn Fitzgerald. A lot of her research is showing that girls that have endo are usually the kids that have the stomach issues as a young girl, and they just keep getting worse as they get older. And there's that new product called EndoSure that you lay down for 30 minutes. It's looking for gut motility and all of that stuff. And the doctor the other day was like, why would this even look at the gut, the intestines and all that? And I'm like, because endo and IBS, IBD, all of those things go hand in hand. Like, I have really not talked to anybody that's like, I have endo and I've never had constipation or diarrhea.
if your gut health is off, it throws your entire system off. So for a doctor to be like, there's no way that it's your endo in your gut. No,
Yeah.
that's 100%. Where
Yeah. And there's so much research now showing us that there are ties with endometriosis to our immune system. Our immune system, the home of it is in our gut. And a lot of women with endo, their microbiomes are off. It's all interconnected and interrelated. And that's becoming more and more clear in the research. And I think our bodies and our symptoms reflect that.
We're just with GLPs, the peritoneal fluid of women with endo, and it's lacking the GLP hormone. So that's why so many women are doing so good by replacing it.
there's still not enough, like, even though the research is out there, doctors are still not educating themselves more about how this disease actually affects the entire body.
As a medical nurse, that bothers me. Why are you questioning someone? And why are you questioning this? Just because you don't understand it? I've heard this from multiples too. That their doctors or their GYNs make fun of their surgeon or them for the birth control they're on or whatever they're on to help with their symptoms. That's not needed in the medical community, period. But Charlie, you live in LA. Rica, you live in Connecticut. How did you guys meet? How did this friendship start?
Yeah, so it's funny. We definitely reconnected on Instagram over endometriosis. And I was actually looking back at our chats, and it'll be 2 years in October that we started chatting because Carly was going through her journey. And I had started to, after the birth of my son, just feel this overwhelming need to give back and start sharing and in little doses because, it's not a sexy topic. I felt like I really wanted to help women because it felt so isolating when I was going through it. And so we connected over this back on Instagram. And then what's funny is we were just having dinner and we actually met ages ago in the city, but we couldn't really pinpoint how we
In
met.
New York or in LA?
In New York, because Carly
bad.
used to live in New York and I was in the city for 15 years before moving to Connecticut. And we realized we lived in the same building in New York City and we definitely crossed over living in that building. It was like meant to be.
Small world.
Universe.
Yes. And then this brutal disease brought us together. So it's definitely one of the unexpected gifts of that. It's been awesome reconnecting. And now I talk to her all the time. And it's
That's
very
a really crazy
special.
story.
Right?
It is.
It is. And I will continue to say this until the day I die. I truly, truly do believe the universe has you guys meet in the first place, obviously for a reason.
Yeah.
But then to lose connection only to then come back together. And we say this all the time. Nobody asks to be in the Endo Warrior Club. It's like the one club. Don't send me an invitation. Like members only. No, thank you. I passed, unsubscribe. And at the same time, it was because of it that I met Jamie. And because of it that Rica, I met you. A good friend of mine and my sister's knows Rica's husband. And she reached out and had said to me, are you comfortable with me connecting you to somebody that I know? I think would be good for you guys to meet. So I was like, sure. I remember I'm in the car. I was going to speak in Atlantic City. We're just talking. And then I'm like, so what do you do? And she's like, oh, I'm in med device. I was like, me too. So I'm like, this is wild.
Meant to be. Yeah.
And also just kind of beautiful at the same time because I truly don't look at you two as guests on our podcast. You are friends. And I think that is,
Thank you.
it's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah, I had that first call when we all four met. We hung up and I texted Callie immediately and I was like, oh, have you ever met two nicer people? You could just feel like energy, like vibes through a phone. And she was like, yeah, usually a lot of anxious people. So and you guys were so calm. I was like, hey, I feel like breathe after that call.
Good. Yeah.
Well, that's
Absolutely.
we have to congratulate you guys because tomorrow is a very exciting day. Your product Serae launches and we are so happy for you. Jamie and I know what it's like to say, hey, let's start a company. Extremely overwhelming and scary. And Carly, the supplement world is a completely different level because you're in an industry that is not regulated by the FDA and there are very specific rules that you have to comply with. So I'm curious, when did Serae become an idea? Walk us through how you created the supplement and what this process has been like.
Man, that is a great question. I've been thinking a lot about when there was the moment where I was like, I'm doing this. And I feel like there wasn't one specific moment, but it was rather a continuous thought, probably around 2022, 23, after having endometriosis for at that point, almost half a decade, and just feeling like, where are the formulations? Where are the products that are specifically designed for women with endo in mind or complex hormonal diseases? Because when I was diagnosed, I've been taking supplements for a while. There was Jimin's Wellness Formula or the multivitamin, but there wasn't really anything out there. For a very long time, just felt very alone when it came to everything and anything when it came to endo. And I think when I was going through my IVF journey, that really cemented this feeling that I had. I felt so much frustration and disappointment that while there were more products out there, which in my opinion is a wonderful thing because it gives women more options, I still felt there was something missing, especially when it came to not just a product, but a company that had community in mind as well and women's stories in mind. And so it was a crazy thought. It was a scary thought, but it would keep me up at night.
That's when you
And
know it's a good one.
yeah, and I'm the kind of person where like, if an idea is persistent in me for a while, I know that I have to explore it.
That's how I feel about when I buy shoes and handbags.
Yeah. You're like, can't stop thinking
I can't
about
stop
this
thinking
thing.
about it. I have to buy it.
Yeah, and again, it felt scary, it felt crazy, it felt completely out of my realm. I've never worked in this industry, but at the same time, it also felt right. And so I just decided to educate myself and take classes through Coursera to learn about the industry in general, and then align myself with a really amazing consultant and start to work with him over a long period of time, just learning the industry first and foremost, because I have a very curious brain, and then taking those baby steps taken years to get here. So it's been a journey, but I'm very blessed and honored to be in it, mostly because of conversations like this
Mhm.
and community like this, the very thing that back in 2015 I did not have. You know,
There was no conversation about it. And there are so many women's supplements for people to choose from. And personally, I think there's too many to the point where consumers have a difficult time figuring out why one is better than the other because they all are saying multivitamin
Mhm.
wellness supplement. And then you're looking at the back of it with ingredients and you're like, I can't tell the difference.
Sure.
So, what makes your supplement different? And why should somebody choose Serae compared to what else is out there?
Yeah. First and foremost, I really live in the belief that every woman's body is unique and her needs are unique. And so, therefore, someone's body might do really well on a formula, and someone else might say, you know what? I didn't feel good, or that didn't work for me. So, I always like to say, you have to figure out and explore different things because it's not a one size fits all. But when it comes to Serae, I developed the formula with two really amazing doctors. And I went into our daily supplement wanting to create something that was, again, going back to the beginning of our conversation, focused on the fact that many of these complex hormonal diseases are systemic. So addressing the full body and really addressing it through not just hormonal balance, but this space of immune system balance as well, and immune regulation. And so I really worked with the doctors to figure out, how do we address things like oxidative stress, cellular health, hormonal balance, and how do we do it not just through one ingredient, but through multiple, and using ingredients that aren't a proprietary blend or something you've never heard of, but actually have clinical data behind them. And so it took a long time to figure out exactly what that formula looked like and how to implement therapeutic doses into the capsules as well. Because that was also something very important, is like, if it's been researched, what is the therapeutic dose and can we actually hit that? And can we hit that without a woman having to take 8
Mm.
capsules a day? That's the challenge. That's the challenge. And so it took years to figure out the formula and to keep it to 3 capsules a day. Because I know in the past I was taking a wellness vitamin that was 8 capsules a day. And I was like, holy shit, I can't keep up with
On
this.
top of all the other meds that we have to take.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really kind of ensuring that we could focus on the clinically backed research, the therapeutic doses, and addressing the full body, not just one thing, was really kind of the baseline for figuring out our daily support formula, which, by the way, if you don't have endometriosis, it's a fantastic formula as well because it does address inflammation. And I
And
know I'm not
everybody's got
really
inflammation.
always allowed to use that term inflammation. That's like a disease claim, but I'm just going to put that out there because it does do that. It helps address inflammations. So if you have pelvic pain, it's good for that. Even if you don't have endometriosis but have painful periods, it will help with that as well over time.
Well, I, for one, appreciate you keeping it to 3 capsules because I'm pretty sure the first time we met, me and Callie were both like, "Hey, it's more than like 4 capsules. Like,
And
we
they're
just
like
would just
elephant size.
we're like, let's just stop this conversation now because seriously, I cannot keep up. Taken a lot of supplements that upset my stomach. Like within 30, 45 minutes after taking it, I'm like in the bathroom and like supposed to be making me feel better, feel good. Meanwhile, I'm like into the bathroom
I know. I know. And that's the thing. It's great because you can take them all at once if your body feels good doing that, or you can take them throughout the day. It doesn't matter. What matters is usually taking it with food, taking it with water, being consistent. It's not supposed to upset your stomach because the ingredients in there are ingredients we've seen before, blended to be synergistic. So we have vitamin D, we have vitamin E, we have zinc, all immune hormonal regulating. Especially, I wanted vitamin D at a specific level because most women are deficient in vitamin D, and women with endo tend to be deficient in vitamin D, hence a lot of that immune system issues. So I wanted 1,000 IUs in there. That is a therapeutic dose. And then we have the 3 hero ingredients, ALA, bromelain, and NAC. And those have actually been studied quite extensively. There was a research conducted back in 2018, and the study is called the LEAP study. And specifically, those 3 ingredients blended, when you take them together, they act synergistically. And this study had 600 women. These women all had endo. There was no placebo in this study. And they found that over a certain amount of time, women who took those 3 ingredients reported less pelvic pain. Some of them avoided having surgery. Some of them had endometriomas that shrunk. So those are my 3 hero ingredients that I really, really, really wanted to work with the doctors to make sure we got into the formula as well.
Yeah, that actually surgeon buffed me taking bromelain for several weeks before surgery. And I have to say, I really didn't have much bruising at all.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's amazing.
NAC's become more of a topic of conversation in regards to inflammation. I was like, oh my God, used to take that. I didn't know that that's what it did. So I'm glad you've included that. I also really appreciate you have focused on immune health because anybody with endo and chronic illness, our immune systems are at a higher risk for catching any type of sickness that there is. And I texted you the other day because since I've started taking this, I always get the seasonal cold. People around me are all sick, and knock on Serae, I feel great.
That's
and
awesome.
I haven't gotten sick.
Yeah, that Carly too, that my kids came home the other day and like sneezed and coughed right in my face. And they just look at me if they have the sniffles. And next morning I'll have sore throat and runny nose. Come
I
what?
know.
In the clear.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a big differentiator of ours is saying we are formulated to focus on hormonal balance 100% and immune balance. Because like you said, women with complex hormonal diseases tend to have inflammatory and immune issues. So I really wanted to put that into the back of my mind and the doctor's minds when we were formulating together. I'm so happy to hear this because this is what I was hoping for. So thank you for sharing your experiences taking the supplement.
Yeah. Oh, we were just excited that you were like, here, try it.
Just try, see how you feel. That's my main thing is just try it, listen to your body. If you feel like you want to keep trying this, I'm starting to notice some positive benefits and changes or just overall feeling better. That's great. And that's what I think I've had to do myself. I've tried so many supplements over the years. Some have worked amazing and some haven't done anything for me, but I'll have girlfriends who are flying high or feeling much better on a certain supplement. So I just go back to, some people are like, that's annoying that everybody's body's different and some things work and some things don't. But I
It
think
is annoying, but
it's true.
it's true.
It is what it is. Like, that
Mhm.
it just like how, like, I feel like tastes are the same whenever you hear
Right.
people's stories. So by starting Serae, I've been able to move some of the other things that I was taking. Like a lot of people have said, why don't you add NAC and all these things?
Yeah.
I had the NAC bottle sitting on my nightstand. I just never started it because I was like, "Ugh, another pill to add." But I'm getting everything that I need
Yes.
that I feel like helps me.
Also,
So
when you manage endo, I'm sure the 4 of us could all say the same thing. It costs so much money to manage this disease.
It's ridiculous.
Don't even want to think about over 10 years the amount of money I've spent between doctors and supplements and dietitian. It's an expensive disease to have. And I understand that financial burden. And if Serae can create products that ease that streamline a system so a woman doesn't have to take 20 pills a day and making her life a little bit easier, then that is my goal, even if it's 1%.
Mhm.
Because that goes a long way over
Huge.
time. And that's, why I wanted to create a formula, not just here's another supplement. Here's 50 more pills for you to take, and it's
Yep.
going to cost you $100. It's too much.
Yeah, some of these supplements that you have to buy a 3-month
Yeah, I was gonna
supply. They
say
won't
it's a
let you
minimum
just
3
get the
months.
bottle. Like, I'm like,
Yeah.
whew. It's like, that's a commitment.
Yeah.
And you brought up like cost and everything. I heard someone speak not too long ago, and they were saying that the financial burden on the healthcare system of endometriosis patients higher than heart disease, diabetes.
I feel like people's faces go slack when I bring it up. It's almost like they just don't know. And I don't blame them because there's such little education around the disease.
Yeah.
But, you know, people kind of, they lose it. They lose the connection and the understanding
Oh, yeah.
to, as you mentioned, diabetes, which 1 in 10 women are estimated to have endometriosis at least. I think that number's higher. But diabetes percentage, it's almost the same. And yet
Yeah.
look at all the resources, look at all the research funds, look at all of the options for people who are navigating diabetes, which is a metabolic disease. And then women with endo, it's like,
It's nothing.
here's some birth control. Here's another. It's hard to ignore the disparity when you see it for what it is, in my opinion. And as someone who's had the disease for over a decade, I'm like, we'll look back at this time in women's health and we'll realize it was pretty barbaric.
Yes.
Sky, you're on the board for Serae. So I wanted to ask, felt like for Carly to ask you to be on the board and what you think of Serae, because I know that you've been on it, you've been it as well. So
Yeah, honestly, I was incredibly honored. What struck me immediately was that she wasn't just talking about the problem. She was determined to do something about it and loved it. And I was just so inspired. And after spending years navigating surgeries and infertility and IVF and pain and feeling like I had to be my own advocate, I knew how desperately women needed support. And like we talked about, I feel like sometimes I'm a walking experiment. Like, what's going to make me feel better? What am I going to try today? And so the fact that she was doing something about it and it works. I mean, I feel better. What excites me most about Serae is that it was created by someone who has actually lived the journey. It's not designed in a boardroom. It was built from lived experience, research, and a genuine desire to help women feel better. And it's clinically backed. So for me, I was incredibly honored and excited being able to combine my professional background in healthcare with something so deeply is such a rewarding experience to work with Carly. And I'm just so inspired and impressed with her. The biggest thing I've noticed is just feeling overall more balanced. Endo, I'm sure you guys can relate. It can feel like you're constantly fighting your own body. And while no one kind of thing is a magic solution, I just noticed I was feeling better. Less inflammation, less getting sick.
I feel the same way since I started taking it. And Jamie and I are pretty transparent when anybody has a product and wants us to try it. We're always very open, but we always lead by saying, like, we know how much time you've put into this. And at the same time, if we don't feel a difference, we're going to tell you. It was around, I would say, 4.5, 5 weeks where I was like, I'm not sick. This is really weird. Almost like kind of shocked. I love the hormone part of it, obviously, because I'm in menopause, but the immune for me is massive. The four of us have talked heavily about the importance of having the right people in your circle when you have chronic illness. And it often can shed light on who those people are. I'd love for everyone to chime in about how living with the endo has changed the way you have chose to allow people into your life.
That's a great question. And I just want to piggyback off of Rica, her response and just say that I'm so honored and blessed to have someone like Rica. Rica is probably one of the pillars in my life when it comes to navigating endo and just thinking about the kind of women that I want to have in my life. She is someone who is an incredible connector of people and brings so much to Serae. And Rika and Jessie, there's another woman on our board, are both endo warriors. In addition to the doctors we have, I feel like we have to have women living this disease, have their point of view, their input, their knowledge, and their unique talent to let me know, hey, we think this is great, or have you considered this, or what about this? Those are the kinds of women that I love to have in my life. The women who support you, the women who believe you, the women who listen to you, and quite frankly, who bring good energy into your life, not drain you from it. Endo has forced me to learn what a boundary is. Boundaries for
Yes.
most of my life. I was a yes person. I drove myself into the ground. I would exhaust myself, put everyone in front of me because that's kind of how I was raised to be, I think. And probably many women relate to that. But endometriosis really forced me to say, hey, you can only do so much. You need to listen to your body above everything else. You need to respect your body and love your body. When it comes to finding friends and maintaining any relationship, I really just every day say, is this bringing joy and value into my life, meaning peace of mind, support? Or is this detracting? Because unfortunately, and I think this is with like a lot of female friendships, sometimes women can, create conflict or drama within groups. And that's not something I partake in at all. So
No.
I just really think about that. And I'm very grateful for endometriosis in terms of how it's forced me to reevaluate relationships,
Mhm.
I agree.
boundaries. I'm actually really, really grateful for that in a weird way.
Everyone knows through the show, one of the many things that Endo took away from me was my ability to have biological children. And that's just the physical part. What, Rika, is something that Endo from you?
I think the PTSD is just always there. When you wake up and you're feeling good, I really want to just enjoy that day because I know that I can wake up and out of nowhere have a flare. And not knowing when that's going to happen, it's like I'm always walking on eggshells with myself. And I think I've just had to really be kinder to myself in the sense of like, if you're going to have a bad day, it's okay. This is a part of the disease, but it takes away from how I am present with my children. It takes away on a day that you're not planning. You can't plan for it. And I think now I just have to be okay with that. But that's the biggest thing it's taken from me is just getting to live day to day and feel good. I mean, there's so many things I'm always trying to figure out a way to feel better instead of just feeling good. Like cut out alcohol. I just hit 1 year alcohol free, which I feel so good.
I was
It's
never really a big drinker, but IVF, I wasn't drinking at all during that time period. I started thinking back of all the times that I would drink and realized the second I had anything, my face became completely flush. The anxiety that I would get the day after, how swollen I would get. So, yeah, choosing not to drink, I just don't like it the way
Yeah.
it feels the next day. But it also is one of the things that has a really bad effect on my body.
And I think women with endo, unfortunately, it is harder for us to enjoy alcohol. And I just stopped enjoying it because of how bad it made me feel. Living normally, it really has taken that away. My husband jokes, he's like, you need your cocoon. You need your 9 hours of sleep. You need your certain things. I need my supplement. I need my Serae. And I function on a routine and I'm always thinking of ways to optimize. You just never know when it's going to flare up. And you never know when you're going to need surgery again. It's the PTSD. It's always there.
Telling Callie last night, I was like, I'm so exhausted. Week before we had like hit school market and field day and this stuff. And by Saturday, feel like I got hit by a bus. And they put it in reverse and then hit me again because I slept for like 10 hours and then I woke up. Felt like I drank a whole bottle of wine. I felt hungover.
Yeah.
Yeah, the exhaustion is real. Before we wrap up, Amy and I have a very special announcement to make that Endo Excision for All is hosting their first annual fundraising gala in Boston, October 11th. And Carly is going to be our keynote guest of honor, and we are so grateful that you accepted the invitation. We are so excited to have you talk more about Serae and your story and raise money for the nonprofit that Jamie and I are on the board of, which helps fund excision surgery and is helping aid in getting access to excision surgery, which is the gold standard. So just wanted to let our listeners and viewers know that this is huge for us to collaborate and Rica, we really hope that you can come and
Yes.
be there.
I mean, it would be so great to hug you guys in person.
It was one of the most exciting things for me to text you, Carly, and ask if you would do after Jamie and I got off of the board meeting. So thank you.
Yeah.
This is the first fundraiser that I'm putting together for the organization, and it's been very overwhelming. But when you said yes, I was off the wall, bonkers, excited. And Rica, I don't care if you're coming. It's not that far from you.
Yeah, no, it's not. It is. It's not. So I'm going to make it. I already told my
so
husband.
fun. It's a masquerade ball.
Yes,
The
love it.
place that we're having it at is so cool. It's a jazz club and it's going to be really great. So we just wanted to shout that out.
We want to get more girls in the OR on the table. And at the spreadsheet the other morning, and we have over 90 girls that have asked for assistance. And at this point in time, it's just very hard to, yeah. And we can only do so much. I've yet to see a surgery that is under 10 grand. Yeah. 10 might be lowest, but still there's consultations, everything else. So, I mean,
people are like, oh, well, I got an estimate for 4. Well, they're probably not doing excision then. And they're like, well, they said they could do it in 45 minutes. And then Jamie and I are like, 100% that's not excision.
Yeah, it's incredible what you guys are doing. As someone who is yet to have excision and the opportunity to have excision surgery, I think it's just phenomenal. And I'm honored to come and support however we can. And Serae is thrilled to be a part of it. So thank you for thinking of Rica and I. Thank you for just all that you're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, in more ways than one in my life, I have found out that it truly takes a village. And I think I really found that out before I had kids, like when it was coming to us trying to have kids and terrible periods where it would knock me out for a day or two. It really does take a village to get through this crazy life, especially whenever you have a chronic illness that just knocks you out. You never know when it's coming. And honestly, if it wasn't for Callie most these days, I don't even know. I probably just
that's how
scream into. I probably need a padded room by now.
Yes. I need one of those rooms where you can just,
yes,
break stuff like the rage room.
The rage room. I did it the day before my divorce. My best friends and my mom and me, we went to a rage room and it was the best outlet.
We find one in Boston while we're all together and just.
It is so much fun, you guys. And also like hell of a workout because the next day I was so fucking sore.
Yeah. It's literally on my list of things to do right now.
It is so fun.
Yeah.
Okay, we end every show with a rapid fire game. And no, you guys do not know the questions because then why would it be fun if you got to prep? So the first one, Jamie, hit it.
Or to describe the other person.
Brilliant.
Am I talking about Carly?
Yeah, so you'll say one about Carly and Carly says one about you.
Going with brilliant for Rica.
I'm going with courageous for Carly.
Oh. I like it.
Okay. Who is more likely to answer a text at 2 a.m.?
I'm sorry.
I think Rica. I'm going with
yeah. I'm usually very responsive. And if I'm not writing back, it's because I'm sleeping or on a call. That's 100% what's going on.
Between Jamie and I, it's probably me.
Once I'm like asleep.
I also am not preoccupied with what you all have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. So literally you could text me at any time and you'll get an answer. And if you don't get an answer, I tell my friends this, if you don't get an answer within 10 minutes, you need to come over to my house to make sure that I have not fallen and I am just chilling there by myself because that is how quick I am to respond.
Oh yeah. If I don't hear from her, I'm always like, Callie, if you do not text me back within the next 5 minutes, I'm probably calling.
And it's true.
So if Endo were a person standing in front of you right now, what's the first thing you'd say?
Just no words. No words.
I'm going to take the higher ground here and I'm going to say thank you because without Endo, I don't know that I would be the woman I am today. And
I love that. Your mindset.
Yeah. Wow.
Good. I love that.
Did not feel that way for the first half of navigating this disease. I had to turn my mindset around going through IVF because it was so broken. And now I thank it because I promise you, I would not be the woman I am today without it. And that's a hard thing to do on days where I feel like shit, but I always thank you for showing me just how strong I am. So I'd say thank you.
Now I'm rethinking my entire existence.
I know.
I'm like, I need to go see my shaman.
Yeah.
I think about all the people that it's brought into my life and meeting my surgeon. She has really restored my faith inhumanity in the medical community in a lot of ways. She dealt with my husband and his dizziness when it comes to me having surgery.
Our last one, Rika, I'll have you answer it first. Carly, I feel like your answer is going to be sending me to a wellness retreat. What is one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
Patience and being kind to yourself. It really is a journey, and it's still a journey. So definitely just be kind and patient with yourself, because you might not have the answers and it's really scary, but this will bring people into your life that it's meant to. And kind of a spin on the way Carly looked at it. My fertility doctor, and I talk to her all the time, Dr. Shiva, she's amazing. And I wouldn't have my 2 children as they are now if it wasn't because of this disease. This disease forced me to have IVF, and they are here because of that. You're going to be dealing with it for life. That's what I would tell my younger self.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm not going to cry. Yeah. I feel so similar to what Rika said. If I could go back and just see like young Carly, I just say just to love yourself and to love your body, because I used to think my body was fighting against me. And I realized that my body was trying to help me the whole time and support me and hold me during this horrible disease and trying to keep me going, and was actually my best friend and my biggest advocate. And for most of my life, I spent abusing or fighting my body. So I would just say to love yourself as much as you can.
You said that, and in my own head, kind of thinking, wow, that's a really profound way to look at this disease. And I have to say that if it weren't for Endo, I don't know that I would be alive, because it was because of Endo and the aftermath of everything that it took from me that it also forced me to get out of the abusive relationship I was in and save my life.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the thing. When you reflect on all the hardships and the tough points in this journey, you can kind of look back and be like,
I never looked at it like that.
Yeah, in like a really weird way, this disease can do things like save your life or force you to make choices that you maybe would not have made without it. And that's a blessing in disguise, even though it is such a horrible disease. So I agree with you so deeply.
When the product launches tomorrow, let listeners know where they can go and purchase it.
First and foremost, follow us on Serae at Serae Health on Instagram. We have a really wonderful page that we're putting together that's very community focused. We'll be launching In the Circle that shares Endo Warrior journey stories every month. So please follow us there. And we will be launching our Shopify tomorrow, which I'm so excited for people to get on and give me feedback about. And you can find us there. It's the same thing. It's seraehealth.com. And that will also be linked into our bio on our Instagram page.
And we'll have everything linked on our show notes as well. Thank you again for being here. And stay tuned next week for an all new episode. Bye.
Bye.
That's it for this episode. Make sure to hit follow and subscribe, and join us next week for all new episodes.